Bonus!
Crew, what the hell is going on? Oh, look out! Piper, now!
Here are these words. Hear the rhyme.
Crew, Piper, page, book.
Hear now the words of the witches.
Keep it going, Phoebe.
Hear now the words of the witches.
The words of the witches. The words of the witches.
Crew, Piper, page.
Hear now the words of the
Keep
witches.
it going, Phoebe. Keep it going.
Hear now the words of the
Keep chanting.
Words of the witches.
Hear now the words.
The words of the finish the story.
Crew, Piper, page, book. Keep chanting.
Hear now the words of the witches.
Keep chanting.
What ass backward spell did you guys cast?
This is Kevin, and welcome to Words of the Witches.
Hear now the words of the witches.
Piper, page, book.
Words of the witches. The words of the witches. The words of the witches. Hear now the words of the witches.
Keep chanting.
Hear now the words of the witches.
Ooh, bonus episode number 2. The Hallowitchy special. Spooky.
Scary, scary, sexy lady. Angry, scary, sexy lady. Angry like a witch, but sexy like a sexy witch.
And my guest for this wonderful special is Phoenix. Hello.
Hi,
Phoenix Arcana Lightwood. There's your full name.
that is my full witchy name. Yes.
And I found you. Well, we found each other. I don't remember who found who, but you.
It was probably me being like horny on Maine and thinking you were cute and reaching out to you. That was probably exactly what it was. I don't remember for sure, but I can almost guarantee.
That's the way it is. Yeah, I feel like we connected on our podcast page because you have a podcast, which Bitches Review, which I love. It's super fun.
Well, thank you so much. You're like our biggest supporter, like 100% for sure, and I really appreciate you so much. Yeah, I love your show.
Thank you.
And I think we have. I think that having that in common really helped us click for sure.
Yes. Do you want to tell the people about your podcast?
Sure. Yeah. So we are a witchcraft in media and pop culture podcast. You can find us on pretty much all of the major streaming platforms. And we just essentially we watch and review representations of witchcraft in pop culture from the viewpoint of real life practicing witches. We are doing Charmed episode by episode because there's just so much there for us to break down and talk about in terms of representation and practices. And we just released an episode yesterday after being gone for a month, which is crazy to me. We just posted an episode yesterday on Practical Magic, the 1998.
Yes. I saw that
classic.
it was posted. I haven't got a chance to listen to it yet, but I did see that it was there. So I'm excited for that. How did you come about finding Charmed?
So I saw lots of promos for it on the WB when I was a wee little tot. Yeah, but I'm a big Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan, and obviously they were on the same network. So I knew of Charmed, but really what really got me into it was watching it in the mornings on TNT.
Oh, yeah.
They would have like reruns of it. They would play like 2 episodes every day. And I wouldn't watch them in the morning. I would DVR them and then watch them and fall asleep on the couch to them after school. But yeah, no, that was sort of my introduction to the show. And one of the first places that I saw witches represented. I didn't become a witch until much later in my journey. But yeah, that was like the first place where I thought to look for references.
Yeah, well, cool. All right, well, I guess we'll start with what we're going to talk about, like scary things, Halloweeny things. Halloween.
Yes. Spooky.
Oh, so since you are a practicing witch and, you know, that's what your podcast is all about, what is typically Samhain? How is that typically celebrated this time of year?
Well, I mean, it really varies person to person. When it comes to like the Sabbath celebrations or like the seasonal celebrations or harvest celebrations, whatever the person calls them, not everybody uses the same words for the same stuff.
There's no right way to be a witch, really, right?
No, there's not. You can ask 100 witches the same question and get 100 different answers. Truly.
Just like there's no right way to be bisexual. I think it's the same exact thing.
Yes, exactly. But so typically Samhain is a time of ancestor worship, right? It's like the last full harvest of the season. But the thing about the Sabbath celebrations is they're very focused on like crops and fertility of crops. And we're not, as a society, we're not as dependent on agricultural success to the individual anymore, right? So it's like these ceremonies and celebrations sort of have to adapt with the times. And Samhain has always been, there's, celebrations throughout several different cultures. There's like the Day of the Dead and all those things like that take place on Halloween as well. So it's about ancestor veneration, and you really have to like look at these things and make them personal to you, in my opinion.
So is there anything special that you do in your work then?
So Samhain is one of the ones that I actually celebrate. I usually, when these days roll around, I'm like, that's today. And then I don't do anything. But Samhain
it's like my birthday.
It's one of the ones that I do take very seriously. I always commune with my parents who have both passed on. I do that every year. I set aside time and just talk to them and like hang out. I hang out and I talk to them like they're right next to me, Yeah. And then this year, what I decided to do is try to connect with my ancestors through cooking. Both of my parents love to cook. They taught me how to cook. And so something that I've been doing for ancestor veneration throughout the month of October is working through my mom's recipe book that she left me. And so that's sort of the idea, is connecting to your departed loved ones in some way.
Yes, I do remember you talking about that. So I'm like, oh yes, I remember these things that you mentioned in your podcast. So cool. That's really, I like that a lot, because family is important.
Sure is. Most of mine is dead, but
well, that makes it even more important at this time of year, right? That's the point.
Yes, it does.
So yeah, that's nice. It's beautiful. Well, we know Charmed has 2 Halloween specific episodes.
Yes. I know the first one. That's All Hallows Eve.
Yes.
What's the second one? It's in like 7 or 8, right?
It's in season 8. Yeah.
It's in season 8. Okay.
So All Hallows Eve is season 3, episode 4, and then we have Kill Billy Volume 1, which is season 8, episode 6.
Okay. Yeah, it's so crazy to me that there are only 2, and neither one of those episodes has anything to do with what witches actually do on Halloween.
No. I mean, you could maybe argue about All Hallows Eve because
go ahead.
Because of their delivery, they're seeing their ancestor in a sense. The Melinda Warren is born because of them, so that's something.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I mean, I took like some notes right before we started recording because I'm not a totally unprepared, lazy person. Sometimes I am, but that was something that I had thought about right before we started. Is like they kind of touched on ancestor stuff in that episode, but really it was like that episode kind of served to like get them back to Wicca basics, like. And then they didn't do it after they got home.
That's true. Because it's really nice. It was really like getting them in touch with, nature, because they don't have access to the powers, but they still have their innate magical being in them. And like, this is very important stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, they did some legitimate practices in that they made like puppets out of corn husks, and they did broom cleansings. Those are real things that like are actual practices within Wicca and witchcraft. And then they didn't ever do anything with it ever again.
Yeah. Is like the apple with a sage leaf, is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually have adapted that into my own practice and created a spell, like a home protection spell out of that. It's just because apples really do have a pentacle in the center, and they're used for all sorts of different things. Protection magic, knowledge magic, love for some reason. I'm not really sure where that association comes from, but yeah.
Okay, I like it. Oh, see, all the goods, all the insights. I dig it.
I'm a well of useless knowledge in any other context.
The other one, because it's season 8, I don't think people are as familiar with it. But that's the one where it's like Billy is really on the hunt for her sister. And we learn that the Dogen is the one that kidnapped her. And then there are some really kind of scary scenes in there because she is having these flashbacks of, you know, the night she was taken, and it's really dark, and the wind is coming through the window, and you see shadows and black moving, and so it is very much a moody episode. But
yeah,
that one's fun. I think that one's probably feels the most like traditionally Halloween because you get the iconography of the pumpkins in there. You got like the trick or treaters in there, and there are some trick or treaters. Well, the Grimlock trick or treaters, I suppose. I know Halloween, but yeah, this one, you know, they get in their costumes again in that episode, and and it's nice.
And Piper dresses up like a mouse, right? And
yeah, Piper's a mouse, and Paige is a little angel.
And Paige is an angel.
Rosy cheeks. Yeah,
I find it very funny that a witch would dress up like an angel on Halloween.
Yeah, I know, right?
If I'm dressing up as anything on Halloween, it's either going to be a witch or a Power Ranger. That's all I've got to say.
I have both of those costumes somewhere, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Those are the two that are known. Are there any other episodes that you would consider Halloween?
Any other episodes that I would consider Halloweeny?
Yeah.
I don't know about Halloweeny, but I do know of two episodes that I do actually find kind of scary.
Okay.
I always forget what it's called. I'm not good with the titles of these episodes. IMDb is my best friend, but I did not prepare that much for this one.
Sure.
The episode with the Grimlocks is terrifying. The first one with the Grimlocks. I don't remember what that's called.
That's coming up. Season 1, episode 19, Out of Sight.
Okay. The Grimlocks are terrifying. They're really scary. They look like pedos, and there's something about them that is just really, really off-putting. And also the episode, I think it's season 2 with Madeline.
Oh yeah, season 2, episode 4, The Devil's Music.
That is a terrifying monster. It's a terrifying monster. But those are the only 2 times that I've personally ever found Charmed scary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I made a list of the things that I got that scared me. The scariest moments for me. I was 11 when they came out, and this was still brand new, and I didn't watch a lot of scary things, so don't make fun of me too much. But
I promise not to.
Okay. The first I remember is when there's a particular part in the Wendigo where Piper is, you know, having her like dream. Andy comes to the door and she like turns into the Wendigo right before him and like attacks him. That scared me so much. Like, oh, that was unexpected. Also in the season 1, episode 21, Love Hurts, the very end of it, when Rodriguez turns and his eyes are glowing red and he shrieks at his partner and killing him, I'm like,
oh yeah.
That was more of like that startle, that shock value. Like, oh my god, scary.
Yeah, no, that was definitely weird.
Yeah,
it was super like uncomfy.
Right, and you watch it now, it can be a little laughable for sure, but you know, at the time, especially, and you know, it's so startling. You're like, what the heck?
Right? Yeah. Do you have any others?
Yes, I do have others.
Oh, please tell me. I am dying to know.
Where's my list here now? Okay, this was like more of like a creepy vibe for me.
Mm-hmm.
Barbara's first scene when he arrives and he walks into the store, and he's just the whole Tangela scene.
Oh yeah, we just talked about that one.
Yeah, you did.
It's unsettling the way that Barbas acts, and all of those shots of his teeth. Like,
brush your teeth.
There are so many shots just right inside to like Barbas's mouth, and I don't understand why they're there.
Yeah, he's definitely that creep value. We love Billy Drago. We do love him, and it's sad that he died, but he was a creepy kind of guy.
Oh no, he died? I didn't know he died.
Oh yeah, he died a few years ago. Yeah.
Oh no, that's sad. Now I feel bad for making fun of his gingivitis.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Sorry, I didn't know.
Yes. We'll honor you on Samhain. Yeah, there we go.
I'll put a little space with just a shot of the inside of his mouth on my altar.
Yes. Another creepy, like, kind of a gross thing for me was when Oren was grabbing the Shivani gypsy eyes and putting them into his face.
Oh, God, yeah.
In the eyes have it, yeah. There is a part in the second Halloween episode in season 8, Kill Billy Volume 1, where Paige drinks this potion to turn herself or give herself like the look of a ghost. And she turns into the scary ghost of this woman, Carol Flowers, to try to stop like a reporter from reporting.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this girl was murdered because of him like calling her out, and like she was an informant, and he reported her. He, outed her, and then she was killed for it. And so she's like, "Well, I'm going to haunt you so that you leave us alone at the manor because we need our privacy."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was pretty creepy too.
Yeah, she was a really creepy looking ghost. By then, the effects were
significantly better. Yeah.
Yeah. So terrified me. Like he didn't seem to be affected by it, but it scared me.
Yeah. No, that scene has a very like the dream sequence of the Craft vibe with the doors busting open and her flying it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it
that's
does.
the whole thing.
Flying through the window. Ah, Sarah!
Yeah.
Anyway, love it. Okay.
Anywho,
I have a couple more. I don't know why I have so many.
Yeah. No, keep going. I'm living.
In Chick Flick, which I do consider that episode to be kind of a Halloween episode. It's a goofy Halloween episode, but very horror movie, goofy, like campy, like really fun. So I do like that episode a lot. I would put that in my Halloween playlist for Charmed episodes.
Okay, yeah, solid. No, I fully agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When I was younger and watching it, I did find Bloody Mary kind of scary.
Yes, and Bloody Mary coming out of the screen for the first time freaked me out. I'm like, oh, and then she's like, pretty girls. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. No.
Well, this is one you covered already on your podcast. Whitaker Berman, Dream Sorcerer. Everything he does.
That's like he should be on an episode of To Catch a Predator. Like
I remember you talked about it on your podcast about how you hated it for a while, but then you found the value in it, and he's just just slimy.
Yeah. No, he's gross. But the cinematography in that episode is beautiful. We talked about it on our podcast. All of the transitions are really cool. The sets are really cool. The lighting design is amazing. That's a really, really well-made episode of television. And like Constance M. Burge knew what she was doing with that one. It like had a very clear message. And I mean, we talk about a lot on our show. Every episode that she wrote is amazing.
Yes, right. And yeah, it was a great metaphor, great allegory for stuff that happens in the real world and what people, should be mindful of, and, the dangers that are out there. And,
yeah, she made this very real, scary thing, like palatable to the masses by making it like a supernatural thriller. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's another very scary episode. And, it does give you, those dream sequences do give you kind of, those Nightmare on Elm Street vibes.
Yes, it was very Nightmare on Elm Street for sure.
Yeah. So the last one, in Ex Libris, when he popped out of the bookshelf.
Oh yeah,
at Charlene, I'm like, oh, get that face out of my face.
Yeah, never underestimate the value of a good jump scare.
Yes, and that was for sure. And then when you see him later with his scythe, like, okay, you Libris, you are freaky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So those are my scariest moments. I know I had a lot.
I agree with you on a lot of those for sure. I have this like, I'm very much like a Buffy elitist when it comes to like supernatural shows. For sure. But yeah, there were more moments than I had considered that are actually kind of scary. I guess I'm just like kind of a nerd to it. Like it doesn't really affect me anymore. But yeah, Charmed has this reputation of being kind of like the fluffy bunny WB supernatural drama. And later on, it really does get that way. After the demons stop looking like demons and just look like Dom leather daddies, like that's when it's kind of like, okay, we've seen this already. Like,
I mean, yeah, like all of season 8, there are no demons. They're all like, okay. I'm the movie star next door.
It's like budget issues and stuff, and there's not really a lot that you can do about that when you're working in entertainment. But like, I mean, I almost feel like it started earlier than that. Like season 5, they
Yeah.
stopped. It's no joke, and it's not cheap. So, I mean, I would rather that they did what they could do feasibly to make it look good rather than like have really cheap looking monsters. Hakati. Yeah. That episode's a doozy too, but there are parts of that one that are scary. The part where they eat the stripper, that's gross.
The Wedding from Hell? Yeah.
Yeah, the Wedding from Hell.
Yeah. I mean, people hate that end episode a lot, and it's not a great episode. But I do think there are some really nice sister moments in that episode.
There are. The sister moments are good, but for the first few episodes, and I mean, this is nobody's fault. It was just like the nature of it. For the first few episodes, a lot of like the sisterly banter is really forced. It's like, oh, Phoebe, you always do this ever since you were this age.
Exposition-y,
Yeah. And so that episode has a lot of that in it for me. But the representation of Hecate is unforgivable.
Yeah.
Unforgivable. Yeah, I mean, we literally just plugged this one in our most recent episode, but we have an episode on that one called Hecate Like the Pasta, where we talk all about the actual goddess that they were representing and kind of set the record straight. So if you're curious, go listen to it.
Yes, I gotta say, one of the things I love about your show is the names you have for your episodes. They crack me up.
Oh, thank you.
They're so much fun. And Professor Crazy Eyes, that episode, so true.
Beth Whittlesey is just a nutty professor.
I got through my scariest moments. Is there anything else you think of that?
Anything else that really scared me? I agree with you about the eyes thing, and the eyes have it. That was nasty.
Yeah.
Also, I remember size matters used to scare me a lot.
It is one of those creepy, eerie, Halloween-y vibes.
Yeah,
sure.
No, that one definitely has a weird sort of sinister vibe to it.
On that note, I actually made a list of the episodes in each season that aired right before Halloween, like the last episode to air before Halloween.
Oh my! Of course you did.
And so I'm going to tell you what episode it was, and we will determine if it was worthy of that Halloween slot, like the scary slot or not.
Okay.
So first season, the one that aired right before Halloween, October 28th, 1998, was Season 1, Episode 4, Dead Man Dating.
Dead Man Dating? No.
Right. I mean, it definitely has a ghost, which is interesting, but it's not spooky. It's not a spooky ghost. It's a nice ghost. And
yeah,
it's a birthday celebration. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I wouldn't consider that the most Halloween-y episode either.
No, it's very Casper meets Wendy.
Yeah, yeah. and they almost touch makeup, but not really.
But not really.
The next one, Season 2, aired October 21st, 1999, was The Devil's Music, the Maslin episode that you mentioned.
Yes, absolutely. That would fit for a Halloween episode. Yes, it would.
Yeah, I think that fits. I mean, because you got the scary demon for sure. He's a 2-page spread in the Book of Shadows. Yeah. And the way that he eats these girls, and you can see their faces in his body bubbling out.
Yeah. Oh God, no, that's awful.
Oh, that was a terrifying moment too, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
In Season 3, October 26th, 2000, was Season 3, Episode 4. These are all the 4th episode of the season so far. All Hallows Eve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is Halloween. It's a Halloween episode, so yeah, it could be. I guess.
So I mean, that one for sure makes sense. Yeah.
What if I had said no?
I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, tell me about this. Tell me more about your thought process there. And then in Season 4, Episode 5, aired October 25th, 2001, Size Matters, with our Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund.
Yeah, I would agree that one, not necessarily Halloween-y, but very eerie, so I think it fits.
Right. If it gives me the eerie, creepy vibes, that's still enough for me.
Yeah.
That house, dude, that house.
Yeah, no, very Monster House.
And him hiding in the walls and peering through the wood pan.
Oh God, yeah. No, there's a scene that happens. It's like a Stephen King movie or something where somebody's looking from behind a wall.
Oh, that sounds familiar too. Yeah.
Rose something or other. Rose Red.
Rose Red. Yes, I remember that. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was. It reminded me of that. So I think that's why that episode creeped me out so much, because it was very like Rose Red from behind the wall, like scary monster in the walls. So
Right, and to think like he shrinks you down, he puts you in clay, he like burns you alive.
yeah, no, that would be a shitty way to die.
Yeah.
That would
But then
suck.
But then you get painted pretty with your scream of terror on your face for all time.
Listen, I burned my finger with hot oil today and I cried for 20 minutes. I don't know how I would handle being in a kiln. Okay.
Right. Ugh. So that one, definitely worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have in season 5, episode 6, aired October 20th, 2002. The Eyes Have It. And that was a tricky one.
Actually, I think I would say yes.
Okay.
I think I would say yes because the celebration of life that they have for Madame Teresa is very Samhain-y. It's very like pagan rites-esque.
Yeah. We actually had a nice like gypsy funeral.
Yeah.
Which was cool to see. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think because there's like a death celebration in that, I would call it a Halloween episode for sure. I think it fits.
Okay. Yeah. You convinced me. I dig it. Yes. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All those candles. And that was a really beautiful like looking scene too.
Yeah, it was.
The next season, season 6, episode 6, aired October 26th, a lot of sixes, 2003, was My Three Witches. This one, definitely not.
Which one is that? Remind me.
That is the one where Chris worked with this demon named Gith, and they create these little pocket dimensions.
Oh, the one with the hot guys in the underwear. Gotcha.
Yes, I should have led with that.
No, that one's not very Halloween either.
No, it's not. I mean,
although I have a bone to pick with that episode.
Okay.
And this is really irrelevant from our topic, but I'm going to say it anyway. Feel free to cut it if you want later. Paige kills a demon with a pipe in that episode. But bullets don't kill demons.
You know?
What? She's like, pipe, and he just dies. But like in season 8, boring FBI Homeland Security man shoots a demon a bunch of times and he just gets up.
But you know what? You know why? You know why it works?
Why?
She was in her pocket dimension. It wasn't real.
Oh.
It was her world where everything was.
Okay, fair enough. Pop my pocket dimension, Kevin.
I mean, I'm sure you'd love it. It'd be fine.
I mean, you're not that far away.
Yeah. I didn't even say you're in Chicago, which is really close.
Yeah. No, I am a Chicago-based witch. What's up, Chicago witches? Say hi to me if you see me. There's a really, really like diverse pagan community here, but I don't ever go outside, so I'm not really a part of it.
I know, I'm such a homebody too. I'm like, I stay home and I like, in my own little retreat. I go to the gym and I come home and I go to work. That's pretty much all I do.
Honestly, me too, except for the gym part. I don't really do that as much anymore.
Next episode, season 7. This one bothered. Okay, this aired October 31st, 2004, actual Halloween day. Season 7, episode 7, Someone to Witch Over Me.
Is that the one with Sam?
No. That one is the one where Kyle is all about these guardians that, like these guardian angels that kind of watch you and they tell you what to do and protect you.
Oh,
and it has the celerity demons and...
Right. That random piece of mythology that never existed before that they just dropped in. Gotcha, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's not really a Halloween one either.
Not at all. That's not even close. It's not even eerie enough to be... I mean, sure, you got creepy guys with claws, Slayer demons that stab you, but it's not Halloween enough. It's just a typical Charmed episode.
Yeah, that's not Halloween-y at all, I don't think.
And it aired on Halloween. That is a betrayal.
Yeah. No, agreed. That's a travesty.
Yes. If you think of the one before the one, that not my favorite episode either, but that's Once in a Blue Moon. That would actually make more sense on Halloween.
Listen, what the fuck?
That episode, I know.
What? Now, if there's anybody to ask about this episode, you are the person. What the fuck happened? Why? Why did the sisters turn into werewolves? I don't. What?
Right. We talked because I'm covering this on the other podcast, Hanging with the Hallowells, which I have to mention because I forgot to mention Hanging with the Hallowells on my last episode, so I have to really shout it out now. Hanging with the Hallowells is my other podcast where we go over episode by episode, starting with season 6. But we covered that episode, and it doesn't make sense. It never made sense. It bothers me to this day to no end, and so if you want to hear me rant about that more, you can listen to that episode on Hanging with the Hallowells because it was a bad rant that I had with it.
I think I'm gonna have to check out that episode because I need to know because there's no explanation, none. But I agree that would be more Halloweeny than the one that aired on Halloween.
Yes, right. I mean, werewolves. That's the whole thematic is there. So
yeah, exactly.
And then in season 8, episode 6 was Kill Billy Volume 1, which we talked about already. That was the second Halloween official episode. And that aired on my birthday, October 30th, 2005.
Oh my gosh, your birthday is so soon.
Yeah. When this is out, it'll be out the day before on the 29th. So.
Oh my god, well, happy birthday, Kevin. Happy birthday,
thank
Kevin.
You. Yeah, I'm 34, old.
That's not old.
Okay, I know it's not, but.
That's not old.
It's in my prime, that's what it is.
Yes, you were definitely prime.
Oh, thank you.
Prime USDA beefcake.
I'm trying. I'm getting there. Those were those episodes. Fun. I thought it'd be fun to go over those.
That's fun.
Yeah. I do have a list of other episodes that I thought had Halloweeny vibes.
Okay.
So I'll just run them by you. Some of them were already mentioned as like some of my scary moments, like Dream Sorcerer and From Fear to Eternity. I had those in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's Demon of Fear. Of course, it's a Demon of Fear. So I did put Sympathy for the Demon in there as well because it was another kind of Barbas Fury.
Yeah, I think any episode with Barbas could constitute a Halloween episode. Just because of like his mythology and the way that he works, I feel like it's fitting. It's kind of like the Michael Myers movies. Like
just keeps coming back.
Like he just keeps coming back. They could have been done a long time ago, but they just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming.
Although by his season 6 episodes, I was like, he wasn't as like scary in them because he was more like, I'm so used to you and I'm like more of a jokester now.
Yeah, he's like inconsequential and a little annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like annoying like the performance is annoying because that's not what I mean, but like a pesky villain,
Right.
It's like Goldar, like, oh god, this fucking guy again.
Exactly, yeah. So he lost some of the charm later on, but then I have Chick Flick for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
We love Chick Flick.
I thought the alternate dimension aspects were really cool of that one. Being able to like that, like breaking the third wall thing that happens with the demon of illusion. That was a weird phase in Charmed Life too, where they were giving the demon of names for everything.
That is true.
And then they tried to do like giving each demon a specific name, and then they tried to do different species of demons, and it was like, get your titles, guys. But yeah, I thought that like the way that the Demon of Illusion's powers worked were really, really cool. How he could like not just enter the movies, but interact with them. And especially when he was like bringing out killers, that was intense.
Yeah, I remember when we like talked to like my husband is an axe murderer. He's like, "You want to do that for real?" And like, oh,
yeah.
So those vibes.
That's a good episode. That's a real good episode. I love Chick Flick.
I think it's universally loved. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Kill It Before It Dies. I kind of wish that movie was real because I want to watch that movie.
Me too. I mean, it would be bad, right? Like it would be a bad movie.
It would be a bad like B horror, but the one kind you love,
Exactly. Yeah. Also, what's Billy? Is that his name?
Yes, Billy Appleby. Yeah,
he's hot.
He's cute. I was thinking about adding him to my cosplay list at some point. We'll see.
Please do.
Okay. Ex Libris I mentioned because ghost and creepy guy. I had Loves the Witch on there with Olivia Callaway.
God, which one is that one?
That was the one where Richard's girlfriend was coming back and wanted revenge, and she is like,
Oh,
I'm an angry ghost.
I hate that episode.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
Hate might be a strong word for it, but it's just so like, it's so like All My Children kind of. It's very soap opera.
It is supernatural soap opera, which I guess is what you could call Charmed a supernatural soap opera. But
yeah, kind of.
But this one seemed very much more into that kind of vibe.
Charmed, especially later, Charmed is so focused on like love and romance aspects of everything that it just kind of gets tired, you know. And so that's part of that I don't really care for, because Paige meets this guy one time, and then she's like obsessed with him forever. Okay, cool. You saved his grandma from getting like blasted in the face. Go get married, I guess.
Yes, we love Pinochle Lady, you know. But I wasn't a fan of Richard at all, really.
Oh no, which makes me sad because there's so few depictions of male witches on Charmed. It makes me really, really sad that Richard was such a lackluster character, because that could have been something that was really deep and complex and, you know, super fleshed out. But anytime that magic is used as like a metaphor for some sort of substance abuse problem, it gets me all sorts of heated, because it's just not chill. It's not chill. It's something that like helps a lot of people and is a salvation for a lot of people. And to play it that way has to be done very, very well, or it's cheap.
Yeah.
And so for a character that could have been great to not be great is really disappointing.
Yeah. All right. Here's one that I thought was kind of Halloweeny, but Legend of Sleepy Hollow, because it had, you know, the Headless Horseman in there.
Yeah, that's a great episode.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's a Halloween icon.
Yeah, for sure.
So the fact that I don't think he throws a pumpkin in the episode, which is a missed opportunity. But he was cool. I mean, it's cool. It was cool.
That was a really cool episode, and that was really funny. They're like, when all of their heads are like on those tables and they're like sniping at each other. That was really cute and fun. Yeah, that's a really well executed episode. Every time I get to that one, like when I'm doing a rewatch, I'm like, oh, this one. And then I get halfway through and I'm like, oh my God, this one.
And then I did put San Francisco Dreamin' on there as well, because it's their dreams, but like Phoebe's like serial killer, like chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
Chainsaw Phoebe, I would say. I would say Chainsaw Guy. Chainsaw Phoebe. That's kind of in that same vibe of chick flick with the campy horror vibes.
Yeah, he's got a very like Jason Voorhees vibe to him. And then, honestly, Slappy.
I know, I was going to say that too. Like, if you have a clown phobia, that's not the one to watch.
Oh my God, Slappy is terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, terrifying.
So, between those two, I consider that like very creepy moments. So
yeah, no, that episode, that's another one of those ones that feels a little campy on the surface, but when you kind of like look at it a little closer, it has more depth than just, oh, their dreams are attacking. Oh no, you know.
Mm-hmm. I put Bite Me on there because it's vampires.
Oh, I love vampires. Anything about well, I don't love vampires. I like vampires dying. That's like my thing. I love the vampire episode. I wish that there had been. It would have been really cool. I mean, the universes are totally different, but I often wish that there would have been a Buffy crossover.
I know.
But I mean, those shows were on at a time where that wasn't as common as it is now.
That's true. I mean, the only thing that was really doing at the time was like Power Rangers and like Ninja Turtles.
And that was a choice. So, I mean, it's one of my personal favorite episodes of Power Rangers Lost in Space. Don't get me wrong, but it's not good.
No, but I mean, they were doing it. They were doing it before it was cool.
They tried. That's kind of like with musical episodes. Like Buffy did that first, but now it's like every show has one.
Yeah, I'm really just kind of disappointed that Trump didn't get one, but
I just feel like Holly Marie Combs would have vetoed that really quick.
She's Allison Hannigan of Charmed. It's fine. I did put that old Black Magic in there because that had very much the Blair Witch vibes.
Oh, is that the one with Tuatha?
Yes.
I hate that one too.
I hate that. I love her, but I hate that episode because it has Jenny in it, and it's got that stupid kid Kyle in it.
Stupid kid Kyle. Oh God, he's the worst. That actress is fantastic. She's in Angel for a while, and she's amazing.
Yeah, I love her.
But the character of Tuatha, I don't like. I don't have a lot of background information, but that's based on a real person, who was, I'm pretty sure, not white. So, that's a little bit of a problem. But I have not done enough research to back up that claim.
Okay. I did ask on my last guest. He was kind of afraid of Elias Lundy. So Reckless Abandon, I had as kind of like an eerie, ghosty one.
Oh,
with the ghost and the baby and
the fucking baby. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, another very soap opera like melodrama.
Yeah, that's a very soap opera-y episode. Yeah, no, I could see that one. That one is actually, that one's really creepy, especially when they go to like his grave and they pull up his body.
My bones. Yeah.
I get that guy and Necron mixed up sometimes because they're both like long-faced white guys with gray makeup on.
Yeah.
I think a Woogie in the House is kind of a Halloween-y episode too.
That's on my list. Good. I'm glad you mentioned it. Yes. As a kid, I never thought I would be so afraid of just like a cloud of dark smoke, but he was scary.
He was scary, but that like video game boss voice, like later on, and like it's not as scary now. But especially when Phoebe's like, he does at the very end, or not at the end, and in the middle.
I mean, yes, something about it it does give me chills, even though I know how stupid it is. Like it gives me chills. And I remember you mentioned it on your podcast, like the part where like the gas man's in the basement and his shadow's like pointing, and he's not even doing it. Mm-hmm. That is just so off-putting. Like,
yeah, no, it's like super unsettling and uncomfortable. That's a really great episode. One of my favorites of the whole show, actually. And I think it definitely has a creepy Halloween vibe.
Yeah, and it's, even with like the wallpaper falling down, all those little effects like that are they give you that possessed house kind of feel.
Yeah, it's really well done. When Charmed does well, Charmed does really well. It just, unfortunately, there are times where they don't do well and they really don't do well.
Death Becomes Them.
Which one is that one?
That's the one in season 7, episode 21, right before the finale. It's with the zombies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the zombies were scary.
Yeah.
That was another one that I was going to mention as ones that freaked me out solely for the makeup. Because like the gross decayed makeup, especially on the cop.
Reese Davidson, Inspector Davidson. His makeup was so scary. Yeah.
So scary. Like the flesh coming off of his face.
He was almost unrecognizable from what, because he was such an attractive man when he was alive in season 3. And you're like, oh, Reese Davidson, is that you?
Yeah, no, it's really, really scary. Unrecognizable. That's the best word for it.
Yeah.
But the reason that I didn't mention that as one that scared me is because as soon as Piper was like, I'm done with this, they were just done. Like, she just blew them all up and it was over.
I know. Like, and it was a little sad. I'm like, these were people. These are bodies. Like, now they have no body.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, okay. I love Piper's explosion power. Piper is my favorite sister. I love her powers. I wish that I would freeze time all the time for no reason, just because I didn't want to do anything. But when she starts being able to blow things up,
it's overused. It's
overused, and it makes every fight they're ever in anticlimactic. It's just like, boom, done. I'm just going to throw my hands up and it's over.
Yep. That's why I was really mad at the Something Wicked This Way Comes book. All she does is blow everything up all the time, and that was it.
Well, it's like once she can do that, she just forgets that she can freeze things.
Yeah.
And
the last one on my potentially horror movie list, I think this one is very important, very scary considering now. Hocus Pocus.
Oh God.
With a virus that turns into this giant hulking. I'm like, this is very poignant in today's society.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that one too. We have very similar brains, Kevin. 'Cause I was also thinking about that episode and thinking about bringing that one up, but I was like, that's not really Halloweeny, but it is because they're
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan looking bitches in that one. Like,
Yeah, that's probably one of the more like demonic kind of looks we got in season 8, especially.
honestly, yeah. And let me tell you though, when that guy, the first demon, turns into that big scary Hulk monster and he's all gray, that gives me very like Turrican vampire vibes from Buffy season 7. And that happened first. Just saying.
I haven't seen Buffy season 7, so I'm.
Oh my! You're not a huge Buffy fan, are you?
I've only watched the first 3 seasons consecutively. I have seen it like off and on, like throughout the run, but I never like watched it like watch it.
But yeah, season 7, there's a creature that looks a lot like what he looks like. Okay, yeah, but no, that he's really scary looking too, and he's like fast, and he's like creepy and strong, and he scratches Billy, and then she gets sick. It's very Contagion.
Now, the last thing I want to do before we go is I'm going to give you a Halloween monster, and you're going to see if you can find a charmed equivalent.
Okay, a charmed equivalent, like a creature that's been in Charmed?
Yes, like a charmed character, or a charmed demon, or a charmed whatever that would most closely fit this Halloween archetype.
Okay.
It would be funny if you could think of the same ones that I thought of.
Okay, cool.
We'll start with Death.
Death, like the angel of?
Right, that would be my option. The Angel of Death. I also thought maybe Libris because he had the scythe. So like,
okay, yeah. No, my first thought would be Angel of Death, but then I also Libris because of the side thing. Yeah.
The Devil, or a devil.
So actually, I think that most people would go the source on this one, but I'm actually thinking that Abraxas is more devilly.
Oh, yes. Because like the source is kind of like that devil archetype, but he doesn't have that devil look.
Mm-hmm.
So Abraxas. Even Balthazar, I could even, with the big red and the ears.
Oh yeah. Balthazar would be a good one too.
Yeah. So yeah. Those are my 3 options. I think, I like yours. Cool.
How come Colas is one of the only demons that does that? Changes into a big monster?
Right. I mean, most demons do have, like, if they're demons, they should have a demonic form. And allow them to have a human form, but a lot of times we only see the human form. We don't see their demonic form. Mm-hmm. We did see Hecate's human and demon form. Yes,
we did. We also saw Cinda morph into David Bowie. That was her demon form.
Kill them! Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one? What's the next one?
Skeleton.
Maybe the Grimlocks, because they're really pale and their eyes are kind of sunken in, but also maybe Elias because we see his bones.
I actually put Necron.
Oh yeah, because he's a skeletal being.
He's a skeletal being, and he does the gauntness and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's a water skeleton.
he looks more like what a Wendigo should look like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And then I also thought maybe the tall man would be a good skeleton.
Oh yeah, that was the guy that was in the cage, right?
Yeah, he like you touched his body, he sent you to the cage.
Oh right. Yeah, he would be good as a skeleton too. Yeah.
Zombie.
Zombie. Well, I feel like the zombies in Death Becomes Them. Right?
That's obvious. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Vampire.
Also, what were those? The collectors with the needle fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were drainy. That effect was bad though, with the needles in the head and like the sucking. Yeah.
You know what? I put Vampire Queen, obviously because she's a vampire, but even like the Seekers. The Seekers were very vampire-like.
Oh yeah, with the fangs.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know what I feel like that was? I feel like that was another instance of Charmed being like, we don't want to do vampires, but we want to do vampires.
I mean, it really was. Even the picture in the Book of Shadows, like, yeah. Mummy.
What was the guy's name in the episode where they go to Egypt?
Not Feats of Clay, but the other one.
The other one, the one later.
That's Jarek.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, Ita might be bien. Jarek, but Isis was the actual mummy in that, so that's the one that was his girlfriend that he kept mummifying,
Mhm.
So yeah, for sure, she's the only one that would work for that. How about this? Witch. Who most identifies as the Halloween witch, or someone who's a scary witch?
A scary witch in Charmed? Well, the first one that comes to mind is the Wicked Witch in the Woods that's stirring that cauldron and messing with all those magical creatures.
Right, for sure.
In season 6. But probably Tuatha, I guess. If we're thinking that. In terms of real witches, I think Tangela and Jenna and that one that gets killed by that cat.
Oh, Ariel.
Yeah, her. When
Yeah.
the familiar turns into that guy that looks like he smells like ham.
I always thought he was Matt Berry, but it's not Matt Berry. I was like, oh, it's not Matt Berry or Jack Black, but no, it's not.
Yeah, no.
I thought maybe Amara would be a good one.
Oh yeah. She's a good actress too. I love her. She's in other stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, I mean, most actors are in other stuff besides Charmed. I mean, Rainn Wilson, hello. But yeah, no, Amara was great too. Was she an evil witch though, or was she just
She was technically a demon, but I think she gives more of evil witch kind of look.
Yeah, she does. She gives evil witchy vibes. She
Yeah.
would have been good for the Wicked Witch in the Fairy Tales episode.
Yeah. Now we have Ghost.
Well, I mean, there are a few ghosts throughout the show, so
Yeah.
I mean, any of them really, but also Penny and Patty.
Yeah, I was thinking more malevolent ghosts.
Oh, okay. So the army guys.
Sure.
What were their names?
Rick and Nathan Lane.
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
they straight up stab Piper, and that's a whole thing. That episode kind of freaks me out too, because those ghosts are intense.
Kind of along the lines of them is Jackson Ward.
Oh yeah, that's a good Halloweeny episode too.
You're going to Alcatraz and killing other people.
Oh my god, there's a quote from that episode. What is that spirit's name that gets him off of the island? What's her name?
Karen. But it's actually named after the Greek farrier, number 6, the farrier from Greek mythology. Charon is the soul ferrying demon.
Gotcha. There's a quote from that episode that she says when Jackson Ward's like, "What is this?" She's like, "Witchcraft sucks, doesn't it?" And it's one of Siren and I's favorite things in the whole world. We have a meme made and ready to go for when we get to that episode because it's
I can't wait.
It's the best thing ever, and I'm just gonna start using it for everything.
I'm excited for that one. That's gonna be great. Okay, cool. Next one is Werewolf, which I think we have some obvious answers for this one.
The Wendigo episode is a werewolf episode.
Yes.
We talk about that in our episode. Can't believe it's not werewolf. So I guess that one, but also Once in a Blue Moon for sure.
Right. Those are the two. Those are the werewolf ones. This one is going to be, I think, a challenge. Frankenstein.
Oh yeah. I thought I was going to have something automatically, and I don't. Frankenstein.
To be fair, I only thought of one that could possibly be it, and it's a stretch. So don't feel bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have one for that one.
I put Kryto because he was made from the skin off of bodies and sewed together.
Oh, How to Make a Quilt Out of Americans.
Yeah.
I could see that. Also, maybe the Golem from Size Matters.
Yeah,
The
right.
guy with no belly button. I forget what his
True.
name is.
Finn.
Okay, that's what I thought it was, but it felt too on the nose.
So-
Maybe him.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of created by a mad scientist in a way. I mean, mad demon. I don't know. So yeah, sure, I'll count that. Scarecrow.
I don't have one for that one either. I don't think.
I put Headless Horseman for that one.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was being a little too literal, I think.
Yeah. Oh, what kind of fits in there? So
Yeah, and Charmed is like that a lot with stuff. This kind of segues into the one other thing that I wanted to bring up and talk about in terms of real witchcraft and the show is they'll use something that is a real thing and then use it for something else. Like
Yeah.
the broom sweeping thing. We don't do that to knock talismans off of trees.
Clean that energy. We want to clean that energy.
Yeah, and sweep.
And
And
sweep.
sweep. And sweep.
Well, now this was a spooky time with you. So where can everyone go follow you and see all your amazing?
Okay, well, you can follow me on Instagram at Phoenix Arcana Lightwood. You can follow me on Twitter at Phoenix Arcana _. You can follow my podcast, Witch Bitches Review, at WBR Cast on all social media platforms. Yeah, and that's where we live. That's where we exist. If you like Charmed, I think you would really like our show. So go check it out, please. And thank you.
Yeah, I love it. And you can find this podcast, Words of the Witches, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, or Words of Witches on Twitter, or find me on my other podcast where it gets real crazy and uninhibited, on Hanging with the Hallowells with my friend Sean. And then if you feel like emailing wordsofwitchespod@gmail.com, you can do that, or see me naked in underwear and costumes at KGZ87.
It's worth the follow. You should definitely go do that.
Well, thank you. Well, happy Halloween, everybody. This
Happy
is gonna be great.
Halloween.
And we will see you November 5th for the next book episode. So, ta-da! Your destiny still awaits.